What's going on, guys? Thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to be looking at a new red dot from Vector Optics. This one is the Frenzy S, or the SCRD-68. It's a new multi-reticle closed emitter red dot that Vector sent to the channel for review. The Frenzy S is an enclosed optic designed for concealed carry. It has a noticeably smaller window than the Frenzy Flex, which is designed more for competition and tactical shooting. The smaller body allows it to fit smaller guns and be less noticeable when carried concealed. Speaking of smaller guns, the optic uses the RMSc footprint, which is common for most slim handguns like the Glock 48. I've got it mounted right here to my Glock 19 MOS, and I'm using one of the MOS plates that came from Glock. As you can see, it's the exact same width as the frame, and even though most people associate Glock 19 with like RMR size dots, this one doesn't seem to be out of place on a pistol this size. Like most other RMSc dots, this one also has built-in rear sight notch, which is mostly covered by the suppressor height sights on this gun. That's because it sits relatively low to the frame compared to other RMR type dots. You might be able to get away with shorter sights, especially if the slide is milled directly and doesn't have the extra height of the adapter plate like the MOS. Like I mentioned earlier, this is an enclosed optic, which means it has a piece of glass on the front and a piece of glass on the back that surrounds or encloses the emitter inside. This is good because it makes it easier to wipe dust and lint off of the rear glass. If you've carried a gun concealed before, you know how much dust and lint accumulates on the lens. Standard dots like the 407, 507, or RMR are way harder to clean because it's almost like a little cave for dust to get trapped in behind the lens. I usually have to use a Q-tip to wipe the back of the lens, like hold the gun upside down and get in there with a Q-tip to get all of that stuff to fall out of the optic. With an enclosed emitter sight, you can just simply wipe the rear lens off with a cloth and you're good to go. This dot also has a multi-reticle system which has 3 separate reticle options. The first is going to be a single 3 MOA dot, the second is a 36 MOA circle with no dot, and the third is a 36 MOA circle with the center dot. Recently I've begun to like using circle dots on rifles and carbines, but I'm still a little undecided on using one for a pistol. The outer ring is smaller than the one on the rifle. We're using a 36 compared to a 65 or 68 MOA on a rifle. So in low light, the reticle tends to blend together and block a lot of the target. I mean is there's not as much space around the middle dot. The circle is smaller, so it's a lot closer. It surrounds that center dot a lot closer, and there's just not as much background image available in that small circle. And it might just be my eyes with astigmatism, but it's something I noticed nonetheless. For daylight shooting, however, the circle dot was great. I was able to find it fast for up close shots, and the small inner dot made hitting small targets at distance much easier. Just like the other Vector red dots I've reviewed, the window was clear and I saw no hints of the emitter in the window like on some other red dots. This sight uses a 1620 battery like a lot of other small red dots, and it has a side-loading battery tray, which in my opinion is the best and easiest way to have to change batteries on these. It does have a motion sensor for the reticle, which is just about standard these days. Vector advertises 50,000 hours of battery, and they also specifically say that it's for the lowest setting. A lot of other manufacturers say 50,000 hours, but they don't mention at what setting. It's nice that Vector specifies what setting will give you those 50,000 hours. The packaging is also nice, and they give you a good variety of mounting screws, so you shouldn't have any issues getting it mounted on whichever platform you decide. The only real drawback to this optic is that it's not as well known in the industry as some other brands, so they don't have that popularity and track record that some other imported sites have. And honestly, it's just human nature to feel more comfortable with a company that a lot of other people have already had experience with. I've heard a lot of good things about Vector optic sights, and I've had good experiences with all of the ones that I've used. It's at least worth checking into, and for half the price of the other optics, it might be worth actually trying out. I like having a closed emitter red dot on my everyday carry gun, and I don't really see any issue with leaving this one on my Glock 19. So if you happen to see this Glock in future videos or content, it will likely still have this Frenzy S on it. That's all I got, guys. I hope you liked the video and found it useful. As always, get in the gym and get in the Word. Make yourself stronger physically and spiritually. God bless. We'll see y'all next time.